Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studio, it's time for the GNFCC 400 Insider. Connect, build, and grow with the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce.
Hello and welcome to the GNFCC 400 Insider, the monthly radio show and podcast presented by the Greater North Fulton Chamber. I'm Callie Boatwright, President and CEO of the Greater North Fulton Chamber. Today, we will be discussing our 2019 Chamber Year in Review and our plans for 2020 with both our current and future chairman. First, I'd like to introduce our 2019 Chairman of the Board, Bill Bland, Senior Vice President at Choate Construction. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. And Alan Najjar. Alan is our 2020 Chairman of the Board and Director of Business Development at Smith & Howard. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you, Callie.
Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what the new year has in store and to give some reflections back into 2019. Gentlemen, generally, we start our programs with a little introduction of yourselves. Bill, why don't you start? If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe what led you to this leadership path, your background, and what you do now.
Thank you, Callie. I've been in North Fulton area for about 26 years, where I've raised my family and where I conduct a lot of business. And I got involved in the chamber 18 years ago because I wanted to support the community that I lived in. I thought that the chamber would be a great place to grow our business, a great place to meet resources, and to get in touch with what makes a difference and how we can grow economically in the area. So I started off at different chairs of different committees, and then eventually became chairman in 2019. And so now what I do is I head up the sales efforts for Choate Construction Company. We've done over 400 projects in North Fulton area, and recently have completed Jackson Healthcare's new corporate campus project that we're very, very proud of. So I appreciate it, and that's me.
Thank you, Bill. Alan, you want to tell us a little bit about what we have in store working with you in 2020?
Sure, absolutely. I was born in Virginia, but I grew up in Atlanta. We came here in the early 60s. Like Bill, went to the University of Georgia, so we've had a lot to cheer about, and some things not quite good enough to cheer about, but good times are still ahead. I'm married to Donna. We've been married for 44 years, and we have 2 adult children. I joined a CPA firm of Smith & Howard about 8.5 years ago as the Director of Business Development. Callie asked about my path to leadership. I'll have to admit that it was mostly luck with a little hard work and being in the right place at the right time. My first real job was the Trust Company of Georgia back in 1973, and I was fortunate to have many good opportunities over the next 30 years in the financial services arena, and I served as the president and CEO of 5 different financial services companies.
So both of you are really in the business of business development, which is perfect for leadership of a Chamber of Commerce, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we are going to start with you, Bill, if you don't mind. You've been my boss for a year, and you've been able to take the Chamber to its next steps. I want to talk a little bit about this year, about 2019, and the accomplishments that the Chamber has had this year. We've made a number of significant changes, of course, maybe some of our programs and our events. I just want to know maybe your thoughts on how the Chamber has changed and been affected as a whole, and whether you feel like we've really accomplished what we set out to do in 2019.
Well, that's a great question, and I've put a lot of thought into it. The programs, just having the business after hours free. Now, I think I've seen that's revitalized and seen a lot of numbers, a lot of people there. Mm-hmm. And then also, not having the lunches now instead of breakfast. I think the monthly meetings, that has been a big change. And we've, as you know, the numbers have increased.
Yeah, we've doubled our numbers, which is great, right? More chamber members to have with us for those programs. Absolutely.
Because, you had the foresight to go ahead and take sort of, sample some of the chamber membership to find out what's important to them. And now, because lunches, people can move around better at lunches, it worked out superbly. And, the other thing I'm proud of is I do recall we decided that we wanted to grow the Chairman's Circle membership, and you had this audacious goal of 20. I said, that's not good enough. Let's make it 40. So you did accept the challenge, and I'm hopeful that we're going to get close to that. Right now we're at 37.
We are at 37.
37. So we need 3 more. So if there's anybody out there listening, we need 3 more Chairman's Circle members. And also, I think the change in the staff, it's been a metamorphosis, and it's really done a lot of good things. But with all that, I think what's happened is that we have a better reach, we have a better depth, and we have a better structure. I think that, let's talk a little bit about reach. I think that we're reaching more people. And, we heard before that we needed to focus, not lose the attention of the small business. And I think because of that, our reach, we've gotten more involved with small business. I think that's very, very important. That's the majority of our members are small business. And also we're focusing on the large business as well. The depth of our programs. I can tell you right now, I get people come up to me all the time and say, listen, I'm really excited about how the content has been enhanced. So I think people are coming to the meetings. Not only are they networking at these meetings, but they're also getting content that is meaningful and hopeful that's going to help them create a good business environment, both politically and also just to grow the business, right? I mean, that's what we're the Chamber of Commerce for a reason, focus on the commerce. The other thing that is exciting is the structure. I think under Callie's leadership, she says that I'm her boss. She's really my boss.
Hey.
So but I think her leadership, we've got the right leadership in place. That excites me. I think Callie being in place. I think Alan that's coming up behind me as the chairman in 2020, and the board. I think that we've done a lot with the board, and that we're having the nomination process in place, and the focus on bringing up and raising the next generation of leaders and focusing on that. And then also we have the appropriate staff. I think now that we have the staff in place that is focused and they're motivated, and I can tell you when I go in the chamber, everybody's happy to be there. And it makes me happy to know that people are happy. And I think that shows in our programs, and I think that shows that people want to be part of something that's, enthusiasm is contagious, right?
Yeah.
So people want to be part of that, and I've seen that change over the last year in particular, and I really commend the leadership and what's done.
Well, you've been a big part of that, Bill. So, and of course, your board of directors has been instrumental as we've made those changes and allowing us to make changes that, are unique in the area. So I think that's been great. You mentioned success. People love to be around people who are excited. Success begets success. So we're going to turn to Alan here since you've had a great year. Alan, you're coming in January 1st for 2020 to be our new chairman of the board. And of course, nothing like making some even larger goals for 2020. What do you think is most important as we look at the vision that you have for 2020 as the chair, and also, of course, organizationally, our vision for the new year?
Sure. Well, I think you and Bill absolutely hit on a lot of the critical foundational things that we've done in the last couple of years in your short 20 months with our chamber. Our mission is to be the recognized leader for business growth, talent development, and regional prosperity. I think that's very clear to all who come in our doors. Our vision is to be the premier business organization driving member and community success. You look at our membership, that is very evident. We also want to be the place where business people want to convene. Mm-hmm. One way to do so, what Bill just said, is having more impactful events like the luncheon speakers that are talking about relevant topics that address the challenges and the opportunities in our community. We'll continue to focus on attracting new members and the retention of current members. I think a lot of the reason people are coming to us and staying with us is because we have remained financially strong, and we continue to attract and retain good chamber professionals that buy into the mission and the vision. We have the structure to scale and to meet the chamber needs of a diverse and a growing community here in North Fulton. And Callie, with your addition to our chamber a couple of years ago, I think the North Fulton Chamber clearly is emerging as a premier chamber in Georgia, and Bill and I were very fortunate to have our eyes opened a couple of years ago when we went to a meeting of the Georgia Association of Chamber Executives. We didn't know what we didn't know, and seeing other professional chambers and their leadership, both at the operating level and the governance level, was a real eye-opener to us on some best practices that are now working very well in North Fulton. So we're honored to host the association's meeting this coming spring, which I think is a real coup for you and a coup for our chamber to host chambers from all around the state of Georgia.
We're really excited about that. In March, we'll be hosting the State Georgia Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives Conference. And so we'll have chambers from all over the state, all 156 counties represented here in North Fulton, and really looking forward to being able to put our best foot forward and kind of put ourselves on the map as an organization that collaborates and works with other chambers, which we've been doing more and more of. And next year, you're going to have the excitement of helping us launch the new NorthFultonJobs.com as well, Alan. I know that's something we've been working on for the last several months, and being able to focus on that workforce and talent development piece where we're able to host job opportunities on our website, on the NorthFultonJobs.com site, and then send folks who are looking for jobs in North Fulton and who don't want to commute and leave our community to that site, I think is going to be really, really important. So that'll be a big piece that we're going to promote next year too. And I know you're excited about that.
I absolutely am, and that's 100% responsive to what your business community has been telling this chamber for many years. And with the success that the economy is having right now, that's probably one of the most important issues we can address.
Yeah, and I think that to that point, it's a great time to be in business, and the economy is very strong, and certainly we've been a beneficiary of that over the last several years and are very, very blessed by that. And even with that in mind, many people are predicting potentially a slowdown as we enter the next couple of years, and I think having a board that's been very thoughtful about that and had the foresight to really look forward and say how we'll react to that is important, because our businesses are the most important thing about the chamber, right? Our members, we need to be there for them and make sure that they have the training and education to be able to weather all storms, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Well, very good. Bill, you've got a year experience. So, Alan, I'm sure is just really looking forward to hearing from you any pieces of advice that you may have for him for a successful 2020. And, really, I want to know, what do you wish you had known before you got in the seat that maybe you can share with Alan?
Well, Alan, the advice I'd give you is, just don't mess it up. No, I'm teasing. No, you'll do a fine job. In fact, I've learned a lot from Alan. He's forgotten more than I know about this business, the business world in general. But I would hope that he would continue to grow. And I think he hit upon something, you alluded to it, is that the whole issue with business right now, our business is expanding in the sense that we can only expand by the labor of the people that we have. So, we can't grow anymore until we can find people, and we can't find people. So I think that the whole issue about growing a way that businesses can find qualified labor is very, very important. And so I would grow in that sense. And then, and the other way I'd grow is that let's get more members. Let's get more Chairman's Circle members. Let's grow the business. Let's get more people involved. And also I would ask that, or my advice would be to continue to expand our value to businesses. What do they want? What do they need to be vibrant and to grow? And so I think you're already doing that now, but that's advice that I would give you.
So more return on investment for our members, and
Absolutely.
then of course grow our membership, because as they interact with one another, it makes them stronger when we make sure that they're shopping and buying from chamber members. It's all part of sort of the plan moving forward to grow everybody together.
Absolutely. I'm biased, but to me, this is the greatest part of the state of Georgia is North Fulton. I mean, think about all the amenities we have, all the Fortune 500 companies here. Everything that we have is just a great place to be. And you mentioned, what do I wish I had known when I started out? Kind of Alan alluded to it. I wish I had more chamber training. The training that I did get, the limited amount of training was by fire, but a lot of it I wish I'd have had more formal training, best practices type stuff to know what to do. But I'm lucky because I had you to help me, and you did train me. I had on the training by you, job training. So thank you.
That's right. Well, one of the favorite memories of working with you over the last year was being able to go together for incoming share training, and be there to be able to kind of learn with your peers who are taking over chairman responsibilities in other counties across the state. And I know Alan had the opportunity to do that just last month. So I think it's super important that we make sure you all have everything that you need to be able to take the role, because clearly you have the raw skills and abilities. It's just knowing how to run a chamber, right? All right, Alan. So Bill's given you all the advice he's got, And so I know you're ready to take the helm. What really motivates you to lead this chamber? There's a lot of additional responsibility. As it turns out, you have a full-time paying gig and this one's a volunteer. So there's got to be a reason that, you wanted to do this. And then with all of the things you already have to do, how do you plan to manage it all?
Well, that's a good question. And one of the things that really motivates me to be involved with this chamber is I'm motivated by being around smart and purpose-driven people that deeply care about their community. You just heard Bill talk about North Fulton being one of the greatest places to live, work, and play in the country. It really is. You sort of alluded to maybe this job could be daunting and intimidating. I think the role that I have now will be easier than it's ever been before because, one, I don't manage the chamber. That's your job, and you're doing a wonderful job doing that. We have an excellent labor of love for all of us. We have a management team that is second to none. You're building a good bench. We have excellent experience that's come from different chambers around the area. And one of the things that really excites me is that we have a very focused board of directors that are motivated, successful people that are representative of the business community, and they understand their strategic role, and they don't get involved in the tactical side of running the chamber. You've got good experience in doing that, and I think I'm enjoying watching you run. The other thing that I take a lot of comfort in is having Bill right beside me, but there's 10 former board chairmen of this chamber that are still very active on the board and in the chairman's club. And what a great council of advisors with tremendous years of experience and wisdom that are very happy to share it with me. I like something that you helped us put in place, which is the chairman-elect position. So we know where we've been in the past, but we also have identified leaders that'll carry us into the future with qualified people that will make sure that the chamber continues to go to the next level.
Well, and I think that was to Bill's suggestion and Bill's point of, making sure that we get training. And so knowing that after you, Alan, we've got Lindsay Petrini with Wellstar, who's our chair-elect going into next year, and even another year out with James Holmes, who's currently with BB&T and, of course, Truist as the merger happens. So we're able to take everybody and get them trained plenty in advance. And really, to Bill's point, we want to make sure that we're doing that well in advance for them to be able to take on those roles. You mentioned the experience or the depth of the bench on our board of directors, and I think that's one of my favorite things about this chamber. We've got an amazing group of very long-standing leaders in the community who continue to serve on our board of directors in a ex officio role, but certainly in a very passionate, dedicated role. And I think that's going to make all the difference as we move forward, that and getting the pipeline of new talent. I know we've got a number of new board members who are coming on in 2020. And I think having that opportunity, if you don't mind, gentlemen, maybe share a little bit about how we've changed the board process with nominations and that program so that everyone really has an opportunity to be on the board of directors.
Absolutely. I think the nomination process that Bill and I learned about at the Chamber Executive meeting was a real eye-opener in terms of putting together a very open, transparent process that has representatives from all the constituencies that came up with a slate, presented it to the board, and then the board approved it. The other thing that Bill and I liked a lot was putting term limits in place where that gives many people that are sitting on the sidelines that have something to give an opportunity to take a seat and learn from those that have been before them. But for the perpetuity of the organization, building that next strength and having some term limits on current board members gives a place for the people that will keep this environment in the chamber going forward.
I couldn't agree with you more. I had a lot of people come up to me years past, how do I get involved? How do I get involved? And I think having a very transparent, clear path that everybody understands, okay, if you want to be part of leadership, there is a path, there's a way to do it. And part of that way is you got to get involved, right? So with involvement comes recognition, and with recognition comes the ability and the chance to be on leadership. And it created a healthier environment where people could see what was coming. There was nothing hidden. It wasn't cloak and dagger. It was just it's very transparent, and I think that's a big deal, and I think that's gonna take us into the future a long ways. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the fact that the board is smaller. We have a smaller board, and I think having a smaller board makes us more effective. And I think the Chairman's Circle membership is going to fit the bill for those who want to be involved, but maybe not to the point where they're on a committee or serving in some other capacity, but they want access to leadership. They want access to other companies. So I think before we had it all, the board served all that purpose. Now I think we're more effective because of the Chairman's Circle program that we have, and with Stacy Garman being there and being focused on that. I think that the people that are becoming part of Chairman Circle membership understand that they have access to other people, and we're there to serve. And, you can call her anytime. You can call me anytime if you want to know somebody or meet somebody. And we make no bones about it. That's what we're in the business of doing, and we're going to do that. So having that, I think that was a big change that made a lot of difference, and that's going to propel us into the future. And having the working board and the executive board and having them two distinct functions, I think is helped you be able to manage it.
Sure. Yeah. Our officers serve on our executive board, which makes it a good opportunity to really get together and be more nimble to make decisions. I do want to mention, one of the things that you both commented on as we were going to the state training conference was that the chamber board should be reflective of the community. And for us, of course, that community is North Fulton and, more importantly, our community of business members. So we have 1,200 chamber members, certainly having that diversity of not just business representation of individuals serving as well, I think is going to serve us well, and has been something I know that when the nominating committee met, they were really, really focused on. So I think that's going to be helpful as well as we move forward, and just making sure that, Bill, your points, we want to have that strong Chairman's Circle, but the great news now is that you don't have to be a Chairman's Circle member to be on the board of directors.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's
so
a
the
very
diversity,
good point.
The diversity of our membership is really represented on that board, whether it's a partner member or whether it's a Chairman's Circle member. And so we're very proud of the way that we've made that change. And I know, Bill, you're not going anywhere. You remain on our executive committee as the immediate past president, which I know is your favorite title ever.
It is.
Yes.
In fact, I'm counting the days. Right.
So's Alan.
Not long.
I watched you last year. I'm going to watch you this year.
Yeah, 3,000 hours left, so hurry up.
Not that who's counting though?
Right,
who's counting?
Right.
Very good. Well, gentlemen, I know that you've given us a lot of good information to think about. I want to know how we can best reach you. Let us know how to reach you, maybe your website for your business, as well as any social media that you're on. So, Alan.
Well, that's easy for me because I don't do social media. You won't find me on Facebook and you won't find me on Twitter. I do use LinkedIn a lot. That's been a very effective tool for me as far as keeping up with people. The chamber website is a good place to find me, and my CPA firm, Smith & Howard, you can find me on that website as well. And I have a cell phone number that I publish. If you don't have it, call Callie, call Tori, call Bill. I'm open for business 7/24.
Well, I promise not to put it on the website, but absolutely. We know that you're very free with that. And Alan, I think one of the things that I really have admired about you is that you're very open and very serious about that. I've seen so many people approach you and take advantage of that. And you really do sit down with them. You have office hours, if you will, with people that you just sit down and meet because they want to do that in our office. And I just think that's really outstanding. I can really appreciate that. So both the Smith & Howard website and the GNFCC website. How about you, Bill?
Yeah, we're all over social media. In fact, we created a social media platform about 5 years ago. So we're on Twitter, Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. We have a website, just chokeco.com, but it's a big thing. We're posting things daily on that. So, and also you can call me anytime, and I'd love to be able to help you anytime. And just call Choke Construction, ask for me. But the social media is a big thing. We're learning now how important it is. Particularly, we're hiring all the millennials that we have, and trying to reach the talent that we have. It's almost something we have to have.
Absolutely. And Bill, I know that you're very focused on the Chairman's Circle for us this year, which has been a blessing for us. And certainly you do a great job with that in sales for Choate. But I think your focus and the fact that when you set a goal, you're going to achieve it. You certainly haven't missed this year. And I want to thank you personally for being my boss this year. Not everybody loves a job where they get a new boss every year. I happen to love it and thrive under that because what a great opportunity to learn from somebody different every year. And certainly this year was not an exception. I appreciate everything that you did for me.
The pleasure was all mine.
Alan, no pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. All right. Well, I want to thank both of my guests and my good friends for joining me here today. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate all the time you're spending with the Chamber, whether it be in the years past or in the years to come. Bill, you're not just sneaking out after a year, so we're going to keep you close. I also want to thank all of our listeners for joining us on the GNFCC 400 Insider presented by the Greater North Fulton Chamber. To listen to this show again or to hear any of our previous episodes, you can visit us at gnfcc400insider.com. And to find out more about the Greater North Fulton Chamber events and programs, please visit gnfcc.com. Until next time, I'm Callie Boatwright, and this has been the GNFCC 400 Insider on Business Radio X.